Hello, I'm legendary Jim Parks, and I am here today with the National Leadership of Bandidos Motorcycle Club, Mr. Bill Sartelle. We're in Galveston, Texas, and he's a native of the island, so is one of the national secretaries. And I want it to be known that so far I haven't seen or heard anything that I have not heard in the boardrooms of major corporations throughout the United States. This is a 501(c)(3) nonprofit corporation. Nobody gets paid, but they run their organization just like the businessmen do. And with that, I want to turn this over to Mr. Sartelle. He's asked me to call him Bill. And our first question is, what are the Bandidos?
Well, Jim, the Bandidos are, in fact, a motorcycle club. I know that probably doesn't set well with a lot of people because they want to call us a gang. We're the farthest thing from a gang. We're 51 years old now. Raised up here, started in Texas, and went worldwide for a while, backed away from that, and back here in the good old USA only now. Split our ties everywhere, Europe and all those places, for a good reason. We're just some guys that like to ride motorcycles, have a good time. We got kids, we got families, we got friends, our neighbors love us. We're no different than your next door neighbor. We just happen to wear these cool looking cuts and ride pretty fast motorcycles. That's what the Bandidos motorcycle is.
There is an elephant in the room, and it's all about a new club in town called the Kinfolk. There's been some violence. 2 incidents took place out at Abilene. One a stabbing, the other killing. Both of them involving a man who has been identified by mainstream media as an ex-Bandido. And I know that I got a statement from you the other day that said he is not a Bandido. I believe you. Can we speak to that issue? This new club in town, the Kinfolk.
Yeah, we can talk about the Kinfolk a little bit. I'm not going to get into their politics because I don't know what their politics are. Kinfolk basically started from a bunch of Bandidos that were disgruntled. I guess they didn't like the way the club was going. And so for whatever reason, they decided to leave our club, leave our organization. They turned around and said that we threw them out, but that's just not the case. They did this. They've got a Mean Street force. I don't know why. We really don't even acknowledge them. We don't care what they do. It's a big country, lots of crime. There's plenty of room for everybody. We don't care. We just don't care. There's no turf disputes. There's no. It's bullshit. So many men get in fights, I guess, if that happens. But I don't even know what to think about these guys. I don't want to give them a whole lot of time to talk about them because they don't mean anything. They're just another motorcycle club. That makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense, Bill. I've heard something all along about Waco, that the issue that the mainstream media identified, the rocker, was something that you gentlemen had already worked out.
That issue has been worked out since 14, something like that. There wasn't, I don't even know where that came from. If you look around, there's Texas rockers on hundreds of clubs. However, I don't know. We've got in Houston, Texas alone, there's 368 motorcycle clubs. And we can along every one of them. We don't take money. We don't push them around. We don't boss them. They come to us to maybe help them, with problems they're having or decisions they need to make or where a good party site is. They come to our parties. They hang out with us. There's no issues in the state of Texas that I know with any club. There's no issues that I know of in the United States of America with any club. Everybody is getting along. That's what we have to do nowadays. We have to get along. To go back a little bit with this new club, I don't know what they're doing. They just have a very loose foundation. They've got men that apparently don't have any integrity, and they're telling a lot of lies about us. They're trying to stir the pot and get people to hate us. Don't even know who we are. They've never met us. But it's just bizarre to me that out of everything that's gone on in the past few years, since even Waco, that people flock to us. They want to be our friends. Our membership is going through the roof right now. It's crazy. I don't know, 90 people in the last few months that joined our club. It's like we're turning people away. We don't recruit. We don't go looking for people. They come to us. So whatever has happened has been a blessing to us, I guess. It's good for our club.
There is the first case scheduled for court is that of Jacob Carzal of Dallas. And as it turns out, a week from trial day, his lawyer has told him that he needs to come up with some more money because he needs to hire another attorney. That was the subject of a news story that I broke this morning. And could you speak to that? That is, it occurs to me it's a little bit chaotic, and it's putting folks in a kind of a ticklish position.
Yeah, I can't get into a lot of details, obviously, but my concern here is, I said to somebody the other day, this is America, right? It sounds almost extortion that a lawyer could even do. It can't be legal. But that's what we face every time we turn around. It seems like we're always knocking the chair off from us. We get caught, boom, there goes the chair. Boom, we can't catch our breath to start, fighting these charges or doing anything we're trying to do in these cases. We never get a chance to catch our breath. But what I will tell you is that our membership knows that we're going to back them 100%. We're going to make sure that they get the legal representation that they need. We're going to support them in every way possible. We're going to get them through these cases. We're not going to go away. This problem is here in front of us. We're going to confront it, and we're not going to go away. We're building a good team around us, and we're going to do everything. We're going to fight the good fight, I guess, is the best way I can say it.
So Mr. Carzal knows that he's got brothers around. He's a family man, and that he's not going to be left at that courthouse door by himself.
I'm sure that his legal people are talking because he's on non-association with the club. We can't have any direct contact with him. We would break that.
Okay. Now then, someone has indicated that there's been a recent exodus of members from the club. Is that what you'd already spoken about, that the kinfolk had left, but now you've got 90 new members? And
it seems like I mentioned earlier about misrepresentation, making a bunch of lies, telling them. And when that club first started, I suppose it's like their PR guy was telling the world that I'm a mean old man and I had 350 members from our club in like a matter of weeks. But the truth was there was 8 people quit from our club. It just seems like every day we hear through the grapevine they're saying is that they'll throw words out, and I guess they want us to react to it, and we're just going to want to. Bandidos are pretty much an open book. We're out there. Look how we do. We can't miss us. We wear the big bright red and yellow patch goes everywhere. We're not hiding in the shadows anymore. We're out amongst them. So no, it wasn't a big mass accident. It's quite opposite. there's been a huge growth in this club. Yeah, I mean, so no, there's no truth to that aspect at all.
So your membership now, compared to the old days, it's quite a bit different. Your activities are a lot different. Could you speak to that issue? I mean, as to how things are. I know that recently I found an interview that Mr. John Portillo gave to Belgian TV network, and he spoke to that. He said, we can't live that way anymore. It's a new day. And I think people are interested in that, finding out what...
well, I came in 97, and I think at the time there was probably 250 members at best, maybe, and I may be off my numbers. So, but I was in I had a president's meeting back in the beginning of the year, and as I looked across the room, I realized, and I made this statement to the guys, it was over 120 members sitting there, each one was the president, and I said, there's more men in this room that are presidents than most motorcycles have in their whole club. I mean, so we went from basically half of our membership in 97 to that number, cut in half with just chapter presidents today. Things are different. We don't tolerate certain things. We expect people to have jobs. I mean, when a new member comes in, we ask them how they make the money. We're just not taking in people that don't have a legal income. It affects everybody negatively. And that's probably one of the larger changes to this club is, we want hardworking, people that, get up and put their pants on and go to work every day, or retire from a job, or something like that. In the old days, loosey-goosey, man, just, hey, you're not in a bar, it's cool, come on, you can do that here. It's not that way anymore. And I'm going back years and years and years, decades actually. So, one of the things that I'll just say it, that I'm very adamant about is the selling of drugs. I don't condone it. This club does not condone it. This chapter does not condone it. And the easiest, fastest way to add your membership revoke today from this motorcycle club is to get caught selling, distributing narcotics. It's not going to work. You will lose your membership, and there's no court to come back and get an appeal. It's done. We will not have that hanging over our head, because if you go back through the decades of Bandidos getting arrested, somewhere down the line it was probably somebody that got popped and he traded up. I'm using 2 cars for 3, and they pick their target. That's how they get them. So if you take that off the table and let people live a good, clean, honest life, one less thing that they can jump all over you for. That's a big change in this whole thing.
Well, as a final question, I want you to know that as quickly as I learned that I was going to be doing this interview, I was approached by quite a few people who do podcasts. They're not mainstream media. They describe themselves as Patriot Radio, because their only ticket is we the people of the United States of America, in order to form a more perfect union and establish justice, provide for posterity, and so forth. That's it. That's all they've got. Right. And they feel like they're in the same boat as you, that if you can get busted because you've got that patch, well, what if they come after them because they got a Masonic ring on, or Star David, or a crucifix? I know what. Now what? Say Phi Beta Kappa keys. Are you in any way opposed to those people picking up this and using it as a broadcast? As long as it's exactly what you gave me, and there's nothing been changed, so they're not going to twist it, or they're just, the only thing they do is just pick it up and share it.
If it's a cut and paste, yeah, I don't have any issue. And that's a big step for us, because in the past we've had a lot of people that would chop our stuff up and add their own stuff and turn around and make us look at it. It's hard to get a Bandido to talk on any kind of media like this, because we've just gotten a rotten taste them out through years of bad press. So no, I'm not opposed to it at all, as long as it's picked up and placed there and everything will be great.
I personally intend to do this exactly the way we went through it, not cut a thing. And I'm going to encourage all people to do that the same way. And I really think a lot of people will pay attention to this because they need to. And if anybody does break wood ranks, well, that would be an error in my judgment for allowing it to happen.
Right.
I would take personal responsibility, but I want you to know my personal gratitude. I feel as if I'm a guest in your home, in your city, Galveston, and that you've been very gracious to host me at a fine place to meet on the seawall, and I couldn't be happier with my treatment, and I feel like you individuals are really, truly gentlemen.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that, Jim.
Is there anything that y'all would like to add?
Going back to your original question about can people practice, people can say what they want about it as long as they tell the truth. And that's what we've had for years, is people make shit up. And I made the comment, we spent 50 years with our head in the sand, hiding in the shadows, pretending we're not doing anything wrong when basically we weren't doing anything wrong. And that's what brings us to things like today. We're tired of living in the shadows and people say they're doing that. We're not doing anything. So transparency is the key word we like to use. Here we are. This is what we're all about. Print what you want, print the truth. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I think Winston Churchill said it best. He said, "Here, here." that's the thing to say now today.
Yeah.
Well, with that, for the Bandidos Motorcycle Club, I'm Jim Parks, Legendary News Service. I'm a happy.